The Shadow Temple of Kiro. Deep within the fog-shrouded mountains of Kiro, there stood a temple known only as the Shadow Temple. Few dared to speak of it, and fewer still dared to approach. The temple's sinister reputation came from its caretaker, a monk named Kagan, who was as wicked as the temple was mysterious. Kagan had once been a devout monk, but greed and ambition consumed him when he unearthed an ancient artifact buried beneath the temple grounds, a black crystal pulsating with dark energy. It whispered promises of power and immortality, and Kagan, unable to resist its allure, bound himself to its malevolent will. The crystal fed on his soul, twisting him into a figure of terror. Under Kagan's rule, the temple transformed into a place of dread. The once serene halls became a labyrinth of shadow, filled with traps and illusions meant to ensnare intruders. It was said that the walls themselves whispered warnings to those who dared enter, though few heeded them. The air inside was cold, carrying the faint scent of incense mixed with decay. Kagan used the crystal's power to control the forest around the temple, turning it into a living maze of gnarled trees and thorny vines. Villagers claimed to hear eerie chants and see ghostly figures wandering the forest at night. Some even spoke of loved ones vanishing, their cries for help echoing through the valley. One fateful day, a wandering swordsman named Ren arrived in Kiro. He was a ronin with no master, carrying a blade that had seen countless battles. Ren was no stranger to danger, but even he hesitated when he heard the villagers' warnings about the temple. However, his resolve hardened when he learned that children from the village had been taken by Kagan's minions, their souls to be offered to the crystal. Ren ascended the misty path leading to the Shadow Temple. As he entered, the doors creaked shut behind him, sealing him inside. The temple's interior was as nightmarish as the stories described. Statues of grimacing demons lined the walls, their eyes seeming to follow him. Faint whispers filled the air, and shadows danced unnaturally in the flickering torchlight. Kagan appeared in the central chamber, seated on a throne of jagged obsidian, the black crystal hovering above him. His once pristine robes were now tattered and stained, and his eyes glowed with an unnatural crimson light. "You are brave, or perhaps foolish, to come here," Kagan sneered. "Do you think your blade can harm me, mortal?" Ren said nothing. Instead, he unsheathed his katana, its polished surface catching the dim light. The two clashed, Kagan wielding dark magic that warped reality around him. The fight was a blur of steel and shadow, each strike from Ren countered by Kagan's sorcery. Despite Kagan's power, the crystal had made him arrogant. Ren exploited this, striking not at the monk, but at the black crystal itself. His blade, blessed by an ancient priest, pierced the crystal, shattering it into 1,000 shards. A deafening scream echoed through the temple as Kagan's body crumbled to ash, his soul consumed by the very power he had sought to control. The temple began to collapse, the dark magic binding it undone. Ren emerged from the ruins, carrying the frightened children to safety. The villagers hailed him as a hero, though he soon vanished as quietly as he had come. The Shadow Temple of Kiro was no more, but legends of the wicked monk Kagan and the courageous swordsman Ren lived on. A tale of hubris and redemption whispered around campfires for generations.